Need a holiday dessert that looks impressive, but it takes no time at all? I've got you covered. These quick and easy cookies will have your guests thinking that you spent hours in the kitchen when really you didn't even break a sweat. Let's dive in. We're gonna make these oatmeal lace cookies. These look delicious, but they're very different than a traditional cookie that I've seen before. The recipe that I am basing this off of uses almond flour. I'm actually gonna use regular unbleached white flour. Okay, so the first step is really over at the stovetop. We're melting a full stick of butter and adding in half cup of brown sugar. So let's head over to the stovetop where we can get this melted together. Now, this is going to go in. We want the sugar to dissolve completely, and then we'll just pop everything into a bowl so that we can combine it all. All right, let's get this butter melted. I'm gonna go to a medium-high heat and melt this down. Okay. Let's pour in the 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and we're gonna melt that and combine it. We do want it to bubble a little bit, so bring it up, bring that temperature up just a bit so that that happens. Making sure that we get to a point where the brown sugar is completely dissolved into the butter. It's actually gonna resemble a caramel or caramel, depending on how you say it. Let me know in the comments how you say it. Is it caramel or caramel?
And where you're from.
Yeah, and where you're from. Good idea. Because that does make a difference, I bet. All right, the sugar looks nicely dissolved. So I'm gonna take this over to the other side of the kitchen because that's where everything else is gonna happen for now. Pour this into our mixing bowl, the whole thing. And you know, we're gonna get the spatula to make sure we get it all out. So we've got the butter and the brown sugar mixture in here. I'm gonna add some honey to this, about a 1/2 teaspoon. There we go. And I'm gonna add some vanilla. Now this is vanilla bean paste. I got this at Costco when I was there the other day. Apparently you use it the same way that you would use vanilla extract. And it actually says on here, 1 tablespoon of vanilla paste equals 1 tablespoon vanilla extract or 1 vanilla bean. So you use the same measurements as you would if you were using vanilla extract. So we're gonna try it in this recipe. This is my first time using this specific one. 1/2 teaspoon goes in here. This is interesting because it's definitely a paste. So you're supposed to whisk until this is smooth and glossy, which I thought it was already smooth and glossy, so we'll see. Take a 1/2 cup of the oats and mix that in. And then I also have 1/3 cup of flour that we're gonna pour in and mix everything together. We need a pinch of salt in here as well. Okay, let's mix all of this. This is a very thin batter, so don't be alarmed. These are old-fashioned oats, by the way. Actually, these are a sprouted oat that I got at Costco. So they're old-fashioned sprouted. So this says to just let this cool for about 5 minutes. It probably does need to cool as I'm feeling the bottom of the bowl here. We don't wanna put the half of we have a half of an egg white. But we don't want to put the half of the egg white in here while it's hot because it's just going to cook the egg white. So I'm just going to sit this here for just a couple minutes, then we'll come back and take care of the egg white. It is nice and cooled now, so we're going to add this half of an egg white and mix together. My oven is also preheated to 350 degrees. And I don't think these take very long. I think it's, oh, hello. It's like 8 to 10 minutes, so. Okay, that seems to be nicely mixed. The instructions say to let this dough sit for 10 minutes and allow it to thicken. The instructions also use almond flour instead of regular flour, so I don't know if that's the purpose, but I needed to do something else for 10 minutes anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. Now, this is a little odd, but you only take a teaspoon. And you know what, I probably should have sprayed the inside of the teaspoon, but we're placing them a couple of inches apart because these are gonna spread. So just about a teaspoon. And I got out another baking sheet just to make sure that we have plenty of space here. Okay, this is actually gonna make a lot more than what I thought that it was gonna make. I was thinking, I don't think I realized you only use a teaspoon measurer. So I'm glad I got out another baking sheet. These are going to bake at 350 degrees for about 7 to 9 minutes. The instructions do say that the butter will bubble around the edges, and that's okay. Don't let it alarm you. That's supposed to happen. Then you let them cool on the baking sheet for about 5 minutes before you transfer them to a cooling rack. And then they need to cool completely before we move to the next step. So in this process, I am actually gonna go ahead and make dinner while they bake and cool, and then we'll move on to the next step of this, which is making a chocolate that's gonna go with them. Okay, so the cookies are done. I put the parchment paper onto the counter because the counter is nice and cool. Now we need to make the melting chocolate that goes in between the sandwiched cookies. Now, 2 options here. You could just drizzle all over the top of the cookie. I'm gonna do an example of that because I do think that would look really pretty, or you can make the sandwiched version. So we're gonna do both. Let's take some of these semi-sweet baking chips. I don't really think we need very much because these are pretty little. So I'm gonna start with a relatively small amount here. Maybe, let's start with a 1/4 cup and see where that goes. Then, I like to add a little bit of coconut oil in mine. It adds a beautiful shine. And because we're doing such a small amount, we really only need like a 1/2 teaspoon of coconut oil. Okay, so we're gonna melt this in the microwave. We melt for 30 seconds, stir, melt for 30 seconds. Once it seems almost completely melted, go to 15-second increments so you don't burn it. I'm gonna turn these over. Well, some of them anyway. I think there were 15 on each sheet. I had my son count them for me. Take a bit of chocolate, and you're gonna put a little bit on each cookie. And really, I mean, you can measure it out if you want to, that's completely fine. But once you smash the other cookie on the top, then it will kind of spread out the chocolate. So you get this nice, oop, I just got some on the outside, nice cookie with the chocolate center. Okay, so we're gonna do this for all of these. So again, just take the cookie, put a dabble do ya on the center of the cookie and press, and there you go. Okay, so we'll do all these, and then, so I'll show you at the end. If you don't want to do the sandwich method, like I said, you can do something like the drizzle method, and that's just kind of like painting. If you thin out your chocolate more, it's even easier. Just add a little bit more coconut oil, but as you can see, you have a little bit of a different method. If you need more cookies, you can go with that. Like I said, if you have a place that you're going and you need to be able to take more cookies than the, 15 that we're gonna end up with, then that's what I would go with. But the little sandwiches are super cute and probably gonna be delicious. You can also sprinkle the tops with some salt. Yeah. I'm gonna finish making all of these and then we'll come back and taste it for you. Okay guys, this is the oatmeal lace cookies that have the chocolate in the center. I did show you the drizzle method as well if you prefer not to make a stuffed cookie, or what would you call this?
You lost me at oatmeal. I didn't know what you said after that.
Sorry.
I'm kidding. Sometimes oatmeal can be a winner.
That's really good.
That's good. What kind of oats did you say these were?
Old-fashioned
like
sprouted.
Old-fashioned. What's that mean?
When oats are sprouted, it's better for digestion.
That's good.
That's very really good. It is very sweet.
I don't know if I'd say very.
Really?
I don't know if I'd say very.
It tastes like straight caramel to me with a little bit of chocolate in the center.
Is it dark semi-sweet?
Semi-sweet, yes.
It's chewy. It's sweet.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's very, very sweet.
I think it's wise to make these little cookies because if they were bigger than that, you would need to share with people.
Yeah.
But I think they're really good. Nice and chewy, chocolate in the middle. I think the more chocolate you can fit in the middle, probably the better. Like this one has a good amount of chocolate in it.
And like you said, I think that's a great size for these.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really neat consistency too because it's crispy and chewy.
Yeah. I don't know which one I would like better, this one or the one we tried earlier.
they're so different. Yeah, they're so different.
They're different.
That's the Rockstar cookie that we made before this one.
Yeah, the Rockstar
cookie, yeah.
They're different, but I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards this one.
It's just really unique with all the different textures. I'm gonna put them in the fridge to see if that chocolate, the chocolate will harden up in the fridge. These are really good option for a treat box too. So if you're doing a Christmas treat box or maybe a New Year's treat box or something, these are gonna look really pretty in there, especially after that chocolate hardens up. But I love the different textures that this offers.
These with just the drizzle is not the same. It's like a different cookie.
Oh, really?
Still good,
okay.
but it's not the same. Much less sweeter, right?
It's still really good though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I know. Our son is begging for one. It's the different textures that get me. I really like that.
Yeah, I like this one a lot.
It's really unique.
This is a winner.
Yep. We are making some Rockstar cookies. This has a lot of different things in it. It's not hard by any means, but all the different things work together to give this amazing flavor. Now, we are gonna make a half recipe, but like always, I will have the full recipe posted in my description box below. So if you go below the video, it says something like see more, and if you go there, all the links will be in there. I need to start this recipe by prepping a few more things. I've mostly gathered all of my ingredients. Right here, I have a half cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, and then I wanna add some dark chocolate as well. So I have some dark chocolate here that I'm just going to cut up, break up, whatever is easy for you. I already had this. If you don't have this, you might wanna buy it already chopped up or cut up, but I already had it, so it's easy enough to just do this. And we can actually just add that to the same bowl. Let's do this other one as well. Now, you don't have to use dark chocolate. You can use white chocolate. You can use, these are semi-sweet. What's the other one? Why can't I think? Milk chocolate. You can use milk chocolate. So we've got that. Now I've got some pretzels here in a bag. We're gonna smash those up and add those as well. Oh, broke the bag. That's what I get for using the cheapo bag. So just pretzel pieces. You can try and add all that in there too if it'll fit. All right. And toffee. This is organic salted toffee, and it's 55% dark chocolate, so not super dark chocolate, but toffee nonetheless. So I'm gonna use half of this bar, and we'll chop it up or cut it up like I did the dark chocolate. I don't think I can fit any more into that other bowl, so we're just gonna add it to this one. Okay, now that we've got that stuff prepped, let's get our butter and sugars creamed together in the mixer. Feel free to use a hand mixer. So I'm using 1 stick of butter. I've got some brown sugar here, and this is a half cup. Let's go in. And then some white sugar, which is about a 1/4 cup. And we're just going to put this in the stand mixer and just really let it cream together. We'll just let this go for a few minutes until it's light and fluffy. Okay, it's looking nice and fluffy to me. So we're gonna add in the flour, the baking soda, and the salt. For flour, I have a half cup. That can all go in there. For baking soda, I'm doing a half teaspoon. And you guys know, normally I sift this, but we're gonna risk it today, okay? And then about a 1/4 teaspoon or so of salt. Add that in. We're gonna slowly start to incorporate that. I'm really hoping we don't have a baking soda chunk in there. I need a smaller sifter, not a huge one like I normally sift with. I need to jump online and buy one of those. I'll forget. I'll forget by the time 3 minutes from now. Okay, I do wanna scrape down the sides of the bowl just to make sure we don't have anything that's not getting mixed. Okay, took a minute, but the dough did pull together. We just need to add all of those toppings. And we're really just gonna loosely pull this together. Now, if I had to guess, the recommendation would be jumbo size cookies. I want to get more from this, so I'm gonna make them a little smaller, maybe like a 1/4 cup or so. That's a 1/3 cup. No, not a 1/4 cup, that's huge. Maybe like an 1/8 cup. All right, let's just start. Let's just start making these. My friend Courtney actually taught me this trick with cookies, so I'm gonna show you what she does. So you grab, this is how she does it, okay? You grab a scoop, that's a bit much. She rolls it, she separates it in two, and then smashes the two sides together, the opposite sides. And so basically what it does is it creates this jagged kind of cookie. I don't know, every time she's done it, it's worked out so perfectly, and they're always the best cookies. So when I saw her do that, I was like, what are you doing? And I think she also chills the dough before she makes them. I'm not gonna do that today, but I think that helps. Y'all, I feel like this is the cookie right here. You can't have anything else in a cookie that you want, honestly. I mean, this has it all. Okay, so yeah, just moderately pressing it down just a little. I feel like I'm gonna end up making another. I should have just made a full recipe. I prefer savory over sweet. And I feel like with the toffee and the pretzels in this, it's gonna be the perfect savory, more savory cookie. That's why I like chocolate chip cookies, because of the salted butter and the extra salt in there. I'm gonna regret this, not making a bigger recipe. These are gonna bake at 350 degrees for about 13 to 15 minutes. My husband is actually the cookie master, so I'll make him watch them so we know exactly when to take them out, and we'll let you know what the final time was. We're about to do a taste test for something else, and I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, let me start putting stuff away. And I did not add the egg or the vanilla extract to the cookies. So we're gonna try something, and this might completely ruin them, but we're gonna put the dough back into the mixer. I just don't know if it's gonna work because it's out of order, with baking being such a science. I wonder if I should just bake them like that, and then we'll make more if it doesn't work. Or bake half like that.
That's what I was thinking too. Go half and half.
Okay, we're gonna put half of it back in, do the egg and the vanilla extract, and see if it works without the egg. We're just gonna try it. The cookie dough is amazing. It's so good. We're just gonna try it and see what happens. You put half in?
Just do half an egg.
Yeah, okay. We'll let you know. Okay, we're ready to try my blender cookies. And this is actually really funny to me because, all right, so I have two things to tell you about this. There is a section in YouTube where if somebody comments and they say things that aren't nice, it gets held for review, okay? So if you use bad language in the comments, it'll get held for review. It's different things like that. And today I got a comment from somebody and it said, I've already deleted it, but it said something to the effect of, you don't know what you're doing in the kitchen. There's always too many bloopers. I'm unsubscribing. And so I think it's hilarious because so many of you guys come here, and obviously that is what you enjoy about my channel, is that this is real, y'all. We have mess ups and we have successes here in the kitchen. And this just happened to be one of those, and it's turning into an experiment. But that just made me laugh so hard.
That is good. That's really good.
And I'm like, she's not wrong.
She ain't got time for that.
My second thing to tell you was I was really concerned about these cookies because I have a very vivid memory of my childhood where I was at my dad's visiting for the weekend and I wanted to make chocolate chip cookies. And I realized halfway through that I made too small of a recipe and I wanted to make a bigger recipe. So instead of making a separate batch and then combining the two batches, I took my batch of cookie dough and then I just started adding all the ingredients over again. Well, it basically turned out to be like a sheet pan of cookie. And that's when my dad told me baking is a science. You know, it was one of those, like, I was 13 or 14 years old, and that's when I first learned baking is a science. It usually doesn't work out well when you make those blunders. In this case, though, I'm actually a little surprised. I thought for sure that adding the egg in afterward was going to just completely destroy, just completely ruin these.
Might have.
It might have. See. It might have. But so what I know, and the reason, you know, I say that, what I know about egg is usually it helps to kind of bind it together. And I do think that the one without egg is probably still gonna have great flavor. It's just gonna be a little crunchier because the dough is not, more crumbly. So we'll try it and let you guys know. Let's try the non-egg first.
Okay.
That's really good.
Couldn't tell. That's good.
We learned how to high five yesterday. I can see why the lady unsubscribed.
It reminds me of my friend Steve way back when we called him Sleeve, and we were at a Hornets game one time. And we went up to high five, and it was one of those things where he was fist bumping and I was high fiving, and we couldn't figure it out.
Okay, so it is a little crunchy, crumbly, but it's not bad. It's a unique texture even.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little, you have some crumble.
Some crumble.
What's it called? Crumbles. Crumbles.
We should cut this off. We should start this recipe over.
There's some crumble going on.
What time is it? It's only 5 o'clock, y'all.
That is good.
We got a whole evening ahead of us. Okay.
It's good though.
It is very good. And I think so I am usually a soft cookie girl. Like I want almost undone. Gooey. I'll just eat the cookie dough. Don't even bake it. But I really actually like the consistency of this. So
yeah, I do too.
Let's try the one where egg was added. And I actually want to remake these and do it the real right way and just see what it's like too. Also delicious.
What a difference in taste though. This one, the non-egg one is much sweeter. This one still has sweetness to it.
I prefer the non-egg one.
They're both good, but I prefer the non-egg one.
But I also wonder too.
I still like this one.
Yeah, it's really good. But like in the non-egg one, I definitely got a bite of pretzel. I definitely got a bite of toffee. I don't know that I did in this one. And
the toffee is more prominent in this one. You can see the color of it.
So, but with that said, when I mixed it and I had to mix all the egg in, it might have just kind of crushed everything more than it probably should be crushed. So, because it says you're just supposed to pull the dough together, not to mix it really, really well. But
yeah, I'll be curious if you do make it again out of the gate correctly, how it tastes. But I definitely like the non-egg one better.
I do too. So, okay, I really am thinking about making this again. I don't know that it's going to show up in this video because I got a lot of stuff going on in here. But I will do my best to leave a community post. So if you go to my channel and I think it's a community tab, I'll let you guys know what it's like when I make them because I'm going to take them to church, I believe. And I'll just let you guys know how it goes after making it the right way. But
yeah, we'll throw a link on our MySpace page. The other thing is,
Why are you guys still here?
What song did y'all have playing on your MySpace page? And who were your top 5 friends?
Stop.
Y'all remember that? You were throwing a lot of shade towards your top or down friends.
It all depended on who you were dating at the time.
It did. This one, you taste more of the salt.
Absolutely. That's a saltier cookie, and I think that's why I like it better.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, I don't know if it's because we didn't get the pretzel. There's no pretzel in this specific one. Hang
There's
on.
not?
I didn't taste any pretzel, did you?
It was the same batch.
I know, but I'm saying like it doesn't seem that there's pretzel
Oh, there's
in
a pretzel
that
right
cookie.
there. I found it.
I'm trying it. This is a really long taste test. I still prefer the no egg.
Yeah, those are really good.
They're very, very good. All right, y'all. This is a winner cookie. And maybe leave the egg out, honestly.
That's a late night snack later tonight.
For real. Let's make some dark chocolate orange shortbread cookies. I'm a huge fan of dark chocolate. It's my favorite. So I'm very excited about these because I just think orange and dark chocolate pair so well together. The dark chocolate that I'm using, I believe, is a 72 or maybe a 75% dark chocolate. So it's not super, super dark, but you could probably go as dark as you want to. I'm using 2 sticks of butter for this, y'all. It's serious. Shortbread has a good amount of butter. And like I said, these are at room temperature. So straight into my mixing bowl here. Now we're gonna cream this together with the sugars. So we're starting with the regular white sugar. And for that, we need 1/3 of a cup. And for the brown sugar, I'm going to use 1/4 of a cup. I need more brown sugar. All right, let's cream these together. Takes a couple minutes in the mixer. It really just needs to get nice and light and fluffy. That's what you're looking for. I usually mix for 5 to 7 minutes or so, and then it works out well. I usually mix for 5 to 7 minutes on like a medium speed, and it's nice and fluffy at that point. While the sugar and butter beats together, I'm going to go ahead and cut up this dark chocolate. And then I also have some leftover milk chocolate, little chocolate chips that I'm just gonna throw in there just to kind of bulk it up a little bit and add a little bit more sweetness. It's nicely mixed. We need to add in some vanilla extract. I'm using this vanilla bean paste that I got now, and it's the same thing. It's the same, so it's just a teaspoon to a teaspoon. So we're adding 1 teaspoon of this. Just don't let it alarm you that it's more of a paste, because it's a 1-to-1 ratio. All right, mix that together. Okay, now we need to add in flour. For the flour, it's 2 1/4 cup. I don't know about you guys, but I often feel like people hear the word shortbread and they think that it's scary, but it's really not. It's actually one of the easier things to make. So don't be afraid of shortbread at all. It really, really is very simple. It's just a ton of butter, to be honest. That's pretty much shortbread, just butter. All right, you may wanna gradually add yours in, but I'm pretty comfortable with my mixer, so I'm gonna go ahead and add all of it in and then mix that together. We start at a very slow speed. Now, while that's mixing together, I'm gonna go ahead and get my orange zest, and I'm just gonna zest it right on top of the chocolate chips because it's gonna go in at the same time anyway. And I'm wondering, I don't know if I'm gonna do 2 oranges. I have another in the fridge. I actually might need an orange for another recipe that I'm doing later today. I need to check. Okay, you can see the dough is kind of like a smooth and dry dough. Now I'm gonna scrape down the sides just to make sure that we don't leave anything out here. And put in the orange zest and the chocolate. Grab a scraper to do that. And mix this in just until it's all mixed together. Okay, looks good. It's all stuck there. Let's grab that off. We'll just leave that in there for a second because we need our counter. Now for this next part, you're gonna need some plastic wrap, and I have very little. I hope that this is gonna work. This is something I almost never use, so I'm hoping we have enough just to make it through this recipe. Now you're gonna divide your dough in half. So let me get it all off of the beater and get about roughly half. Use your plastic wrap to kind of guide it a bit, but we're creating a log. I really guess you could probably do this without plastic wrap too. You don't have to have it. Especially somebody like me, if I had run out of it today, I'm sure you can just roll it into a log on a very lightly floured surface and then just store it without plastic wrap around it. It would probably be fine. Could wrap it in parchment or something if you really felt like you needed to. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. Let me roll it up. You don't want them to be too thin because basically what you're gonna be doing, this dough is gonna chill and then you're gonna cut it into cookies. Really all depends on how thick you want your cookies to be. So you go with what works for you. The bake time may vary slightly. You can smell the orange. I'm so excited. Okay, I do want this to be about the same size as the other one, so I'm just roughly checking that. Okay, I think we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and roll it up. Now this dough is going to chill in the refrigerator for about 2 hours. Then we'll break it out, cut it, and bake it up. All right, friends, I've got the shortbread cookies out of the fridge. I'm gonna sharpen my knife because you want a really sharp knife. Also, somebody asked me the question the other day, how do I keep my knives sharp when I use them so much? I just sharpen them before I use them each time. This is what came with it, and it makes it really easy. Then you just wipe it off carefully, and it should be sharp and ready to go. Okay, so we're gonna unroll and then just cut into cookie slices. You want your knife to be sharp, otherwise it's gonna mess them up. I'm not sure whether a serrated knife would be a better option. It actually might be, which I could get that out, but this one seems to be working pretty well. Try and make them as even as possible in the thickness. I think mine are probably around 1 inch, but that's gonna help the cook time be even. So you're supposed to roll the whole log in sugar. You coat it with egg wash and then roll it in sugar, but we can fix this. It's just gonna take a little more time. We're just gonna roll the edges in sugar and then line the sheet here. These cookies should not spread too much. So you can see, obviously this would save you time if you weren't adding the sugar after the fact. So I'll show you, I'll do the next log properly. How about that? Oh man, y'all. This is my brain. If you guys have brains like mine, that's probably why you're here, because this is just how it works. My oven is currently preheated to 350 degrees. These are probably gonna take about 10 to 12 minutes. It all depends on the thickness of your cookie. So however thick you cut them, that's gonna determine your cook time. So it could be anywhere up to like 14 to 15 minutes, just depending. All right, so we're only gonna do one at a time, just for space on here. All right, so 10 to 12 minutes. These are gonna go into the oven and cook up. Are you ready, guys? We're gonna do this one the actual right way. All right, let's unroll. And I'm going to take an egg wash, which is just a little bit of egg mixed together. You can add water to it as well, and just lightly brush the log roll. Okay, I've already got some sugar here on the plate. So we roll around in the sugar. Let me do the other side. I don't know, part of me thinks that my other way actually might have been easier. We'll see how this works with the cutting process. Ready to go. I don't know about this, y'all. All right, let's cut them. I do think it's possible this little egg wash gives it a more brown edge as it's baking, so I'll be curious about that part. And we repeat. And these are gonna go in for, I think the last ones were like 12, they ended up being about 12 and a half minutes. Okay, so these are dark chocolate orange shortbread cookies.
At first I thought they were just like cookie dough.
I know, he was like, are these cooked? But I mean, that's the shape of them.
You shaved some of the orange peel. Was that for this?
Yes, so there's nice orange zest in this.
Wow.
And there was orange zest in something else that I made today too.
Oh yeah, you can smell.
I don't remember what it was. That's good. You barely get the orange. One of the recommendations that I saw was that you can use orange extract if you really want to get more of that orange flavor. But yeah, it's a small hint of orange. They're not a super sweet cookie.
No.
But shortbread is not sweet. It's buttery. It's supposed to be like that. Yeah. But I like it because I don't love sweet cookies.
Nor do we like crunch.
That's true.
And this doesn't crunch like a typical shortbread. Unless I'm not thinking of the right thing.
Okay, so one of the suggestions was to sprinkle some salt over the top, which
Always
I can see working out. Do you want to try that? We'll just try it. We'll try it on one.
Well, probably like right out of the oven. Put it on there.
Yeah, that's probably true. Okay.
I love salt on cookies. So if you like that, then that's a tip for you. But I don't love it on this one.
With the salt, I can taste the orange more. I don't know if it's the contrast of flavors, the saltiness versus that citrus. But these are a great option for cookies. They're so perfect in wintertime. You would think that orange makes you think of summer, but for me, when you see the little dehydrated orange that people hang on their Christmas trees and stuff, it just makes me think of winter. And then with the shortbread, hello, kitty.
That's a thing, really?
They're really pretty. I'll show you a picture.
Yeah.
It's really pretty. You dehydrate them. I'm sure you guys have seen them, but you dehydrate oranges and you can hang them as ornaments.
Yeah,
and it's
I
like
like
a
that.
rustic
Oh, yeah.
ornament that you can hang, and it smells good too, obviously.
Right, yeah.
But I personally really like shortbread because it's not too sweet.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of this. It's super buttery, and
It is.
that's what's good.
Can't go wrong
That's
there.
the good stuff.
Our verse today comes from Jeremiah 23:5. The days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will raise up for David a righteous branch, a king who will reign wisely and do what is just and right in the land. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you need more Christmas treat or snack ideas, I've got plenty more of that here for you. Check out the video that I have listed above. You're going to get amazing recipes and great inspiration there. I hope you have a great week.